Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about the outsourcing trends for 2023. So, why are small businesses still outsourcing? Well, the number one reason, no surprise, is still to save time. And if you look at the data, 27% of small businesses are currently outsourcing to improve efficiency and save time. Now, this is actually quite an uptick from what we've seen in previous years. So that means one out of every four small business owners have outsourced at least something in their business. And the reason that we do this is to free up your time. And the reason that we do that is so that you can make more money, right? Because the less taxing your brain is on remembering the bookkeeping and remembering all the things that you have to do, getting ready for your appointments, prepping for them, taking notes after, sending follow-up emails, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff takes up your brain capacity. And we don't want that. We want you doing what you do best, whatever your superpower is. And by doing that, we're able to actually bring more money into the company. So it actually not only saves you time, but it actually saves us a lot of money, because if we can free up your time, you can actually increase your revenue because your brain space is only working on the things that you are really, really good at and not trying to take on the things that you're not good at. So the second reason is business growth. So about 19% of small businesses with 250 to 500 employees are outsourcing primarily to scale their business. So I just ran into this with a client down in Austin, and she wanted to hire about 50 data processors. And the reason for that was they have a real estate database that they have to keep updated. And currently, they're only in the state of Texas, but they wanted to branch out to other states in the United States, and they just didn't have enough manpower to be able to call all those businesses. So it was really easy for us to be able to put in some employees where they could call and update that database so that they're able to grow and scale. And so that's one instance where we've seen a client who has used offshoring to scale their business. So supporting various business processes is the third reason. And this one makes a whole lot of sense. And typically this is onshoring, right? And when I say onshoring, I mean you're handing it off to somebody else in the United States to do that for you. And so a lot of times that's IT services, right? You don't want to fix your own computer. Finances and accounting, you don't want to do your own bookkeeping. You certainly don't want to do your own taxes. So you're handing that off to somebody else. Legal work, right? If you need contracts drawn up, you're accessing a lawyer for those. Digital marketing is a big one. My friend Raleigh in Colorado has made a whole business out of just doing video production for companies, because it takes a lot to learn how to create a really good video, and it doesn't make sense for you to learn that. It makes sense for you to outsource that to somebody who's an expert, and you spend your time doing what you're most, what you're best at. And then, of course, last but not least is human resources, right? That's something that can be a huge time drain and a huge time suck, especially if you have employees in the United States that are on your payroll. There are a lot of things that you have to keep in compliance. And so by outsourcing that, it makes a whole lot of sense. You don't have to worry about that and make sure that you are in compliance. Next reason is access to flexible resources. So we have a client up in Colorado who does this exact thing. They're a window washing company, and during the summer they are insanely busy. But as you can imagine, in Colorado, there isn't a huge need for window washers in the middle of December to January, February, right? So what they do is they'll actually fluctuate the hours needed for their admin. So not only do they fluctuate how many people they need on staff in the United States, but we also fluctuate their offshoring, right? So the people that are taking calls, scheduling appointments, they don't need to work as many hours because it's downtime, or it's not peak season for them. So it makes a whole lot of sense, and they have the flexibility to be able to do that. So that's pretty nice. The next one is working with experts, right? So let's say you brought in a consultant to work in an industry for something super niche, right? So, maybe, I don't know, think of something like super granular niche that you don't know anything about, but somebody else is really good at that. It really makes sense to hire them as a consultant, bring them on to be able to instruct you for that specific niche. And then the very last one that we have is collaborating with domestic and international partners. And a lot of times we don't think of that as outsourcing, but a lot of times it absolutely is if we're hiring another company to do consulting work or to partner with us on something. So actually 56% of small businesses are doing onshore outsourcing right now. So they're hiring consultants, they're hiring digital marketing agencies, things like that, to take over those other tasks. And so when you do that, you're able to, again, free up your time and spend your time doing the things that you are really, really good at. And then not having to learn those other things. So those are the top reasons in 2023 that's currently trending for why you would want to outsource for your small business. Personally, I take a look at the Philippines if I'm looking to offshore. And the reason that I do that is they're super good at English. I love their work ethic, and the Filipino peso to US dollar conversion rate is very favorable for us. So we can pay them a very good wage, and it still costs us about 30 to 40% of what it would cost if we would hire somebody in the United States. So as always, let me know if you guys like this video. Put your comments in the chat, and you can always reach me at Michelle@awesomeoutsourcing.com. See you guys in the next video.